Alright, so the next day afternoon, doing a bunch of running around this morning. Back on the oil leak, internal oil leak causing oil pressure loss. And there's a TSB out on the Kubota L series, like the mid 70s. And what it is on each side of the camshaft, there's a plug, an aluminum plug that they just friction fit into there. And over time, aluminum and steel don't expand and contract at the same rate, and eventually it works its way loose and it fell out. So the fix for it is plugging it back up again with something more solid. They make a steel plug for it. I thought I ordered the right one, but I didn't. But what ended up happening was took a set screw, probably about a 1/2 inch long, something like that, and then ground it on a taper. So the set screw, exaggerated, was like that. So you went from like no threads into threads into the full length of the head on the outside of it. And I kind of just put that in with an Allen wrench and kept tapping it with a hammer as I went in. I did not want to stick a tap in there. I just paranoid of cracking the cam or cracking the edge off the cam or doing something like that. So that's the avenue, is just to set that in there. And once you got it tacked in place, which it is, it's not going anywhere. So now I got the big cleanup and get everything ready for reassembly, and a lot of gasket material to remove. It's a fairly large gasket that covers about 14 by 18 inches, something like that, to give you an idea. And there's like 3 or 4 things hanging off of that yet too. So between the block and doing your best not to get any crap inside the motor. So enough talking about it. I'm gonna get me some gloves on and start cleaning. Lot of cleaning up. This stuff was on there like napalm. So I actually had to use the old paint stripper, aircraft stripper, to get it off. But it's off. And it's got the right stuff on it. And it's all ready to get goobered up, put back together. Alright, I'm on it. Yeah, well, this is where it got fun. I got the cover on. Now I'm trying to get the governor set up back on. So I had, this spring was attached to the cover, so I had to get in there and put it onto this arm, but this arm wants to go backwards on you all the time, so you have to hold it out while you're doing it. And then my next one is, okay, right there, you see it? I'm on the end of it. Here's where it gets fun. Okay, that has to go on there while you're putting the whole assembly down in the hole. So that's why I said it was kind of tricky without damaging the springs. I'm sure there's a shortcut to it. People have done it before, but your first time, it's fun. So I'll continue on. That just looks funny. Tractor half off. So the motor's all together. Went together pretty decent. The biggest deal is just trying to get all that rock-like old gaskets off, and just playing with the springs a little bit. Actually, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, if it works. So now I got to clear out a spot in the floor and get the rear end, the front end, in here and tucked back under, and see if we get that assembled. And I may or may not put the radiator on, fill it up with fluids, and fire it up. Or I'll just fire it up before that and just make sure our oil light's off. I think we're good though. Oh, the anticipation. Can't you wait? And back to rolling. Got the wheels back on it, the front end under it. Ended up putting the tractor in 4-wheel drive, and it had those 2 long pins in the front right here, so they gave you kind of like guide pins to walk it forward. And then as I got close, got the nuts started, and it jacked some of the pressure off of it, and I was able to just kind of like to rock the tires back and forward. And when I did that, the spline popped in, kind of like putting a transmission, putting an engine on a clutch, kind of the same idea. So just kind of finishing up getting the radiator and whatnot back together, the radiator and whatnot. These are the hoses that are on it. They are looking pretty pooched. Get you under there. That one's ready to blow out. So I'm sure Kubota probably would have charged me 20 bucks a piece for them. So I went to the store and just found a piece of hose that had the elbows I can cut right out of it. And that hose was 12 bucks, so I could make the two of them out of one piece of hose. So let's get the radiator in it and get some fluid in it. Well, I got 2 bolts left and they're for the hood. That's a good sign. Everything's all back together, new terminals on it. Even went with a heavy duty bungee cord to hold the battery instead of the cheap one that was on there. All right, let me put some coolant in this and let's go fire it up. All right, it's the moment of truth. I have, I put whatever was in the pan back in the radiator. It's low, but that's okay. I'm gonna let it warm up and have the thermostat open. But right now we're gonna see if our oil light goes out and stays out. And my only fear right now is just worrying about the governor. If you don't have your governor set up quite right, you could have something that kind of runs at runaway speed. So if I jump off real fast and stuff a rag over the intake, you know what's going on. So let's go with that. We're out of gear. And if you turn it backwards, it glow plugs the motor. And actually, I should just crank it. It takes a second because all the oil galleries were empty. It still has the old oil in it, so I want to let that run and heat up before I drain it. But I'm going to change it in about 15 minutes. Wow, that's a good time. Nothing's pissing out of the bottom. I think we're fine. Get rid of that board so I can get out of here. There we go. Sounds good. It's a 2-cylinder, so it's got a weird kind of thump to it. Alright, we'll let that warm up a little bit, and I think we're okay, but make sure that light stays off. Alright, well, it's been out here running for about a half hour or so. I changed the oil in it. Topped off the coolant. I think that makes for good. Another 38 years and another 800 hours later. I can go to the next guy. Now I'll get the bucket back on her and the back blade, and we're done. Nice tractor, you know, it's a very good work tool, saves your back. Instead of picking heavy stuff up, you got something to lift with, you know. Mark the filter. Alright guys, well I'm going to go put this together. Again, thanks for watching, comment, subscribing, and we'll make some more vids coming up soon. Thanks, take care.
Make up your mind. Just trying to get out of everybody's way. I'm gonna see like